Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today, I finally have the Zero Tolerance 0470. No, it's not an old knife, but the first run went through really quick, and when they were in stores, I didn't manage to get my hands on one. Now I have one. It's one that I really wanted to try out just right from the pictures. The first time I saw it, I really thought this was something I was going to like, and I really wanted to get it. It is a Dmitry Sinkevich-designed. A lot of people call it a ZT version of the Atmos. I have an Atmos here, and we will compare it. Yes, shape-wise, it is almost identical to the Atmos, but size-wise, not so much. As you can see, it's quite a bit larger than the Atmos. It's not saying that it's big at all. We will, for example, kind of skipping ahead. I usually do size comparisons later, but since we're talking about it, size-wise, it's more, a little less than a PM2. So it's not a big knife by any means, but it is much larger than the Atmos. The Atmos is a pretty small knife. But it is a beautiful design. There are so many things I really like about this. I'm probably going to talk about design stuff more in this than I usually do on a knife, but you've got full titanium construction with this beautiful carbon insert, which we'll talk about in a moment. 20 CV steel, excellent steel. Nothing to complain about there. KVT ball bearings, as you'd expect on a ZT. Lots of milling going on here, which I really like. These nice little, which is also pretty typical ZT. They do that on a lot of their models. But let's talk about the thing I like the most first. This marbled carbon is just gorgeous. I love it. It's no voids at all in this one. Just beautiful. I feel like I could hypnotize you doing this. I don't know. I can't think of any subliminal commands to give you right now as you're looking at this. Sign up on Patreon, something, I don't know. But it's just beautiful. I really do love the look of it. I like the black pivot, all the black hardware and stuff I think looks really good. The only two design things I'm not in love with is this backspacer is just anodized black aluminum. You could have made it carbon. It would have been so much cooler. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. But, yeah. If you like lanyards, guess that's a lanyard. I don't know why they even bothered. Looks like it'd be very difficult to get a lanyard in through there. I think you have to open the knife up and put a lanyard in and put it back together. It's about the only way to do it. That's kind of weird. And the pocket clip it works fine. We'll talk about that more when I talk about the carry. The pocket clip works great. I don't always demand a titanium milled pocket clip. A lot of times I do prefer just a bent pocket clip. This is titanium, so I'll give them that. But it's just, yeah. This is such a classy looking knife. I think a carbon backspacer and a titanium milled pocket clip and charge me another 20 or 30 bucks. I'd have been fine. Because again, I haven't gotten to that yet. The price is not bad, $240. It costs the same as most ZTs, most of the other ones do. I think it cost, I think the 0609 is about that same price. I'm fine with the price. I would have been fine if it was a little bit more because it does look fancier than a lot of the other ones. They could have charged a little bit extra and I'd have made it a little bit nicer and I'd have been, I think, more happy with it. Let's do some stats here before I start rambling too much. We have an overall length of 7.8 inches, blade length of 3.4 inches, blade thickness pretty thin, 0.12 inches, handle thickness nice and slim, 0.48 inches, and a weight of 3.27 ounces according to my scale. So not bad at all. Not a featherweight, but close to it. You can see like where they put the carbon in, obviously that's all milled out, so that lost some. And then on the other side, you can see that there is, hopefully you can see that they milled it out a little bit. On the lock side also, so pretty lightweight, easy little carry for sure. Let's do some more size comparisons before we move on. I showed you the PM2, but I'll do it again in case you guys are skipping around, because this is one of the standards we do. Yeah, a little bit smaller than a PM2. Not dramatically smaller than a PM2 though. So, oh, wrong one. Don't want to put that away. That's the star of the show. And we'll put up against another one of our standards here we use a whole lot, the Rat Model 2. much, well, not much, a little bit longer than a Rat Model 2. And now we're going to bring out again, so I'll bring out the Atmos again real quick, just to show you again one more time, again, in case you guys are skipping around. Again, bigger than an Atmos. But here is another ZT model that you absolutely for certain will be seeing a comparison, battle to the death between these two, because they are both indicative of ZT's kind of not move towards, they're definitely still doing big crazy stuff. Maybe no 393, which most people wouldn't consider big and crazy, but for me it's kind of a big beefy knife. But you know, they do these overbuilt in the USA things and all that, but lately, like especially this year, they've been doing a lot of more EDC models, and well, these two are. They've done these two, but they're great, nice, lighter weight, smaller EDC knives, and they're both pretty great. And I want to do a comparison between the 0609 and the 0470, because they're both almost identical in price, identical in purpose, as you can see, pretty identical in size. So you'll be seeing that in just a couple of days. I'm putting this up on a Friday night. You're probably going to see that like on like Monday, I think. So be looking out for that. All right, let's talk about this knife more. We have 20 CV blade, as I said. Very, very nice looking design. I love this swedge that Sinkevich puts on a lot of his stuff. It's on the Atmos also, but it just looks so classy. I just love the look of this blade. Really good tip on it. You don't have to worry about snapping that off super easily unless you're prying on something like a jackass. It's only the only thing I'm disappointed about, and it's not. I'm not that disappointed because it's actually pretty average. But it's 24 thousandths behind the edge. That was really average a year ago, but now so many companies, a bunch of other companies, they're going so thin behind the edge, and I do really like that for my personal, the way I use a knife. I cut a lot of cardboard, a lot of stuff like that. I like that super thin behind the edge. Now, you might not. You may prefer the 24 thousandths behind the edge, and a lot of ZT's customers probably do, because they do kind of, you know, build up this image of, you know, overbuilt in the USA, all that stuff. But this particular knife, I would have rather seen, you know, be a little thinner behind the edge. But it's still slicey enough, plenty slicey enough. It's a very useful blade shape, absolutely, very useful blade shape. And very sharp out of the box. ZT has been killing it this year. I've had 3 this year. I had the 0393, the 0609 you just saw, and this, and all 3 were razor sharp out of the box. I can't say that about the previous 2 ZTs I had. I had an 801 and an 0450, and both of them I almost had to sharpen as soon as I got them. So they're killing it this year with the sharpening. I do have to say that. But it's 20 CV. It's awesome steel. Absolutely nothing to complain about. Sharpening choil is almost right. Not quite. You're still getting a little bit of the plunge there, which is a bit annoying. But it's not bad. It's not enough to really freak out about. But yeah, they could have gone just a skosh, maybe a skosh and a quarter farther, and it would have been a little bit better. Ergonomically, really, really good. The Atmos was good, but as you'll see here, again, I have large size hands, but very skinny fingers, and I could get all 4 fingers on there, but not by much. I liked the ergonomics in this. I do believe in the review. I think I complimented that, but it still just wasn't. I said I wished it was a bit bigger. I think I said that. I know I said it in my mind. This is larger, and it fits perfectly. And this clip doesn't bother me at all. Maybe that's why they didn't do the milled clip, because this little bent clip gives you no hot spots at all. Like literally not at all. And I love the jimping on this. I think it's just the perfect amount. It is just enough to hold your thumb on there, but not enough to be super overly aggressive or it's going to tear your finger up. And it's very well placed. It's perfectly placed. It is exactly where I would want it to be. And I do really like and appreciate that. And then yeah, on the backspacer here, you got a little jimping that holds your hand on there just a little bit too. Doesn't do much, but it does a little bit. Very nice. And as far as carry goes, it's pretty good. Bring out the torn up Wranglers here. And slides in and out very well because this is just riding on titanium. You got a little bit sticking out, but I mean, that's not a ridiculous thing. And honestly, the top of this handle is so narrow. This is one I don't think I would put a deep carry clip on. I know I always say I want a deep carry, but this is one I'm not sure I would. Because if I had a deep carry, there's not much to really grab hold of up here, so I don't mind that little bit sticking out for this particular knife. Because there's not much to grab hold of, sideways here. But carries very well. Very easy to get your hand past it. A very minimalist flipper tab. It carries awesome. It's very thin. Not very thin. It's pretty thin. 3.3 ounces. Great weight. As you saw, slides in and out. Doesn't tear anything up. Very, very nice to carry. It's an excellent carry knife. You could carry it in any kind of dress pants or anything like that, and you'd be fine. Now, deployment-wise, this is one little nitpick I have with it. It is the detent could be just a touch more, not dramatically, and this is a nitpick. I don't want this to sound like it's a real huge complaint, but the detent, it's definitely, you can't shake it out or anything. I've tried and tried and tried, and you can't shake it out. It's not like a super weak detent. And it might be because this flipper tab is so small. And you usually don't fail it, but it just doesn't have that. It's not snappy. It's like a slow roll flick, if that makes any sense. And this, I didn't know where to put this in the review, so I guess I'll talk about it now. The sound it makes just isn't very satisfying. For a ZT, like you're used to hearing that very solid, bank vault click. It just doesn't sound very good. I mean, it works fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the deployment. Now, there I just failed it, but I think I touched it. Oh, yeah, that was my fault. I was pushing on the lock bar. It flicks out fine. I mean, it's an absolutely fine deployment, but it's just not a fidget knife. And I was kind of hoping it would be. For example, listen to like the 0609. That's the ZT sound. That's what you expect from a ZT, and maybe I'm wrong to expect that, but this, you don't get that. This you get. It's just different. I don't know. I just like the more, and I know what it is. I know it's just the carbon, because I raced mountain bikes professionally for a couple of years, and carbon was just becoming a thing. And when we all got our shiny new carbon bikes, we hated the noises they made. And carbon is kind of it's a sound deadening and echoey at the same time, if that makes any sense. But it conducts a dull sound, I guess is the best way I would describe what carbon does. So I know it's just this big slab of carbon that makes it sound like that. But it is a bit annoying. And when you move it around in your hand too, that noise, it's not a satisfying noise, is it? To me, that's not a satisfying noise. This doesn't really sound like that. It's just completely my own little idiosyncrasies that I get obsessed with the sounds of things. But yeah, other than that, I mean, $240, it's a good price. You're in full titanium, 20 CV, all that stuff. Carbon, blah, blah, blah. ZT quality. It's very well built. I have no issues with anything. By the way, lockup is very good. Blade centering was very good. Perfect. So, and I overall really like the design, and I'm probably gonna keep it around. It's one of the kind of ultimate gentlemanly knives, unless you go custom. It's beautiful. I really love that carbon. My only nitpicks are I wish they had a milled clip, and if it would work ergonomically. Maybe somebody from ZT will reply to this and tell me I'm an idiot and that was the only way to make it work ergonomically, and I will believe them. But wish I had a milk clip. Don't care for the sound that it makes. Wish the detent was a little bit stronger. Just a tiny bit. Other than that, great knife. I really do like it. It's definitely, I think, going to be a keeper. It's a pretty cool knife. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.